Welcome back to our channel, Rare Coins All World, coin collectors, numismatic enthusiasts, and history buffs. If you've ever wondered about the hidden treasures that might be lying in your pockets or old coin jars, then today's video is for you. We're going to explore a very special coin that holds a fascinating history and, for some lucky collectors, a very impressive value. We're talking about the United States of America's 1994 Washington quarter dollar, a coin that might just surprise you in terms of what it's worth. Let's start with some background. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by artist John Flanagan, the obverse, front, of the coin features Washington's left-facing portrait, while the reverse, back, shows an eagle, a symbol of freedom and strength. The coin has undergone many changes over the years, from its original silver composition to the copper-nickel-clad variety that we see today. Now, fast forward to 1994, and the Washington quarter is still in circulation. By this point, the quarter had been part of everyday American life for over 60 years, and its design had seen only slight modifications. The 1994 Washington quarter, which was minted in large quantities, might seem like just another ordinary coin. However, as we'll dive into today, this seemingly unremarkable quarter can actually hold some remarkable value. So, what makes the 1994 Washington quarter special? Well, just like with any coin, several factors can influence its value. Some of these factors include the coin's condition, its rarity, and any mint errors that might have occurred during its production. We'll break these down and explore what to look for in your own collection to determine if you've got a hidden gem. The first factor that determines the value of the 1994 Washington quarter, as with any coin, is its condition. Coins that are in good condition are generally worth more than those that show signs of wear and tear. When it comes to coins that were minted for circulation, like the 1994 Washington quarter, the majority of the coins you come across will have been used extensively. These coins will have marks from everyday use, scratches, dings, discoloration, and other signs of wear. While these coins are still collectible, they don't usually fetch a price higher than face value. However, the value can increase dramatically if you find a 1994 Washington quarter in uncirculated condition. Uncirculated coins are those that have never been used in transactions and have remained in pristine condition. They retain their original shine, their details are sharp, and there are no signs of wear. Uncirculated coins are far more valuable to collectors, and the 1994 Washington quarter is no exception. If you've come across one that's in uncirculated condition, you might have a coin that's worth significantly more than just 25 cents, but what about the 1994 Washington quarter with a mint error? This is where things really get interesting. Coins with minting errors can be incredibly valuable, depending on the type of error and how noticeable it is. Minting errors can occur for various reasons, from a misaligned die to a double strike or even a completely off-center strike. These errors make the coin unique, and as a result, they're often highly sought after by collectors who are looking for unusual pieces to add to their collections. For the 1994 Washington quarter, some of the more common mint errors to look out for include double strikes, off-center strikes, and die cracks. A double strike occurs when a coin is struck more than once by the same die, resulting in a design that's slightly misaligned or overly pronounced. An off-center strike happens when the coin is not properly aligned with the minting die, causing the design to be struck off-center. Die cracks are less common but still intriguing to collectors. A die crack occurs when the minting die breaks, and the crack transfers to the coin during the strike. This can leave a unique mark on the coin, adding to its desirability. Now, let's take a look at the mint marks on these quarters. Mint marks are small letters stamped on coins to indicate where they were produced. In 1994, the U.S. Mint produced quarters at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint typically don't have a mint mark, while the Denver Mint quarters have a D mint mark, and the San Francisco Mint quarters feature an S mint mark. While all 3 of these mint marks are interesting to collectors, the S mint mark is usually more sought after, particularly when it's paired with a high-quality coin or a rare minting error. If you happen to find a 1994 Washington quarter with the S mint mark in uncirculated condition or with a mint error, you're looking at a potentially valuable piece, but there's more to this coin than just its minting and condition. The overall demand for Washington quarters has fluctuated over the years, and certain quarters have become more popular due to factors such as collecting trends or the broader interest in certain time periods of American history. The 1994 Washington quarter, while not as old as some of the more iconic Washington quarters, has still gained attention in recent years as collectors seek out high-quality examples from the late 20th century. The popularity of 1990s-era coins has been growing, and the 1994 Washington quarter, with its historical connection to the end of the 20th century, has become an appealing addition to many collections. So, what is the 1994 Washington quarter actually worth? While many of the quarters from 1994 are relatively common and may only be worth face value or a few dollars in mint condition, a well-preserved, uncirculated coin with no signs of wear or a rare mint error could be worth much more. As with any coin, the value can fluctuate depending on the market and demand. But if you happen to find a high-quality, uncirculated 1994 Washington quarter with an S mint mark or a notable mint error, you could be looking at a coin worth as much as $92,000. Yes, that's $92,000 for a single 1994 Washington quarter, which is truly an astonishing value for a coin that, at first glance, might seem quite ordinary. So, the next time you're going through your coin collection, checking through spare change, or visiting a coin shop, remember to take a closer look at any 1994 Washington quarters you might find. If it's in great condition, if it has a rare mint mark, or if it shows signs of a minting error, you could be holding a valuable piece of American numismatic history. Always remember to examine your coins carefully and consider getting them graded by a professional to understand their full market value. Today, we're focusing on one particular coin that has intrigued collectors for decades, the 1988 Washington quarter dollar. This coin may seem like just another regular quarter, but believe me, there's much more to it than meets the eye, and it could be worth far more than its face value. Now, when you think of the Washington quarter, what comes to mind? Most of us probably remember the classic design introduced back in 1932 to honor the first President of the United States, George Washington. This iconic coin has seen multiple redesigns and changes over the years, but the fundamental elements have remained the same: George Washington's portrait on the front, symbolizing the strength and unity of the American nation, and an eagle on the reverse, representing the country's freedom. Fast forward to 1988, and the Washington quarter is still a vital part of American currency. At first glance, the 1988 Washington quarter may appear similar to other quarters from the 80s, but it's the hidden details, the minting conditions, and the collector's demand that really set it apart. Coins from this era, particularly those minted in 1988, are becoming increasingly sought after by numismatists around the world. In this video, we're going to dive deep into why the 1988 Washington quarter could potentially be worth a lot more than you might think. Before we get into the specific value of the 1988 Washington quarter, let's talk a little bit about its history and how it fits into the larger context of U.S. coinage. The Washington quarter was initially introduced to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Over the decades, the coin has gone through a variety of changes in terms of its composition, with the most notable transition occurring in 1965, when the U.S. Mint began producing the quarter with a copper-nickel-clad composition instead of the original silver. This shift occurred because of the rising cost of silver and was intended to ensure that the quarter remained affordable for the average American. By the time 1988 rolled around, the Washington quarter had already been in circulation for more than 50 years, and the design had become a staple of American coinage. However, in 1988, the quarter's minting was marked by something that would increase its rarity and, consequently, its value. To understand the potential worth of this coin, we need to look at several key factors that influence coin value: its condition, its rarity, and any errors or anomalies that may have occurred during the minting process. Let's start with the most straightforward factor: condition. Like any collectible, the condition of a coin plays a massive role in determining its value. Coins that have been circulated extensively often show signs of wear, such as scratches, discoloration, and fading details. These coins are usually worth only their face value or a small premium if they're in decent condition. However, coins that have been well preserved, especially those that are uncirculated, are much more valuable. An uncirculated 1988 Washington quarter is a coin that has never been used in commerce and retains its original luster, sharp details, and pristine condition. These coins are often worth more than just a few dollars, and they're the ones that collectors seek out when looking for rare pieces. If you come across a 1988 Washington quarter in uncirculated condition, you may want to consider having it professionally graded by a coin expert to determine its true value. Now, let's talk about mint marks and how they can affect the value of your 1988 Washington quarter. Mint marks are small letters that are stamped onto coins to indicate where they were produced. The Philadelphia Mint typically doesn't include a mint mark on its coins, while the Denver Mint coins have a D mint mark, and the San Francisco Mint coins have an S mint mark. The presence or absence of a mint mark can influence the rarity and value of a coin. While the 1988 Washington quarter was primarily minted at the Philadelphia Mint, some quarters from that year feature a D mint mark from the Denver Mint. Typically, quarters with the D mint mark are more common and don't carry as much premium value. However, it's worth noting that collectors often seek out specific mint marks, and certain varieties can be more valuable based on demand. The San Francisco Mint struck fewer quarters during certain years, so any 1988 Washington quarters with an S mint mark might be more sought after. So, when looking through your collection or scouring through your spare change, don't forget to check for that mint mark. It could be the key to finding something valuable. But what really sets the 1988 Washington quarter apart and makes it potentially worth so much more than its face value is the possibility of a minting error. Minting errors are incredibly important in the world of coin collecting because they can make a coin unique and rare. These errors can take many forms, from a misaligned die to a double strike or even a coin with an off-center design. While these kinds of errors are relatively rare, they can significantly increase the value of a coin, sometimes even by thousands of dollars. One of the most coveted types of minting errors that could apply to the 1988 Washington quarter is a double strike. This occurs when a coin is struck by the minting press more than once, resulting in an overlapping or misaligned design. Double strikes are highly collectible, and some examples can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the severity of the error. Other types of mint errors, like off-center strikes, can also add value to your 1988 Washington quarter. These coins often show a partial design or misalignment, making them rare and interesting to collectors. You might be wondering, how much could a 1988 Washington quarter actually be worth? Well, the answer depends on several factors, including the coin's condition, mint mark, and whether it has any minting errors. While most 1988 Washington quarters are worth only their face value, coins that are in uncirculated condition, especially those with rare mint errors or mint marks, can be worth significantly more. In fact, a rare, uncirculated 1988 Washington quarter, especially one that features a unique mint error or a rare mint mark, can be worth as much as $82,000. Yes, that's right, $82,000 for a single coin. Imagine stumbling upon a coin like that tucked away in a drawer or buried in a box of old change. The potential for finding a valuable quarter like this is real, and it just goes to show that sometimes, the coins we see every day hold far more value than we think. So, next time you're going through your coin collection or rummaging through your change jar, take a moment to look at those 1988 Washington quarters. If you find one in excellent condition or with a rare minting error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Whether you're an experienced numismatist or just starting out as a collector, this is the kind of discovery that makes coin collecting so exciting. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most iconic coins in American history, the 1979 Washington quarter dollar. It's a coin that may seem ordinary at first glance, but as we'll explore in this video, there's so much more to this coin than meets the eye. From its history and design to its potential worth today, this coin holds the key to some impressive hidden value. So, whether you're an experienced collector or just getting started in the world of numismatics, you'll want to stick around to learn all about why the 1979 Washington quarter could be worth a lot more than you think. Now, when we think of the Washington quarter, we often picture the familiar image of George Washington's portrait, proudly gazing out at us from the coin's obverse. This iconic design, which has been in place since 1932, is a tribute to the first President of the United States, symbolizing the nation's founding principles of freedom, independence, and unity. And although the design has been slightly modified over the years, it's the reverse side of the coin, featuring a majestic eagle, that truly sets the Washington quarter apart from other coins. But what makes the 1979 Washington quarter stand out in the sea of quarters produced over the years? For starters, the coin's design remained relatively unchanged from previous years, and its minting was part of a broader trend in the United States during the late 20th century. The late 1970s were a transitional time for American currency, with many coins being produced in large quantities to meet the needs of a rapidly changing economy. The 1979 Washington quarter was minted in the United States at a time when the country was undergoing significant changes in its economic landscape, with inflation rising and the demand for smaller denominations growing. Little did anyone know that these seemingly common coins would become hot commodities for collectors decades later. The 1979 Washington quarter is part of the larger series of coins produced from 1932 through the present day, and it continues to hold historical significance for collectors. But before we get into the value of this particular coin, let's break down its key features and the factors that can influence its worth. After all, a coin's value is determined by a combination of several important elements, including its condition, rarity, mint mark, and potential for errors. So, let's dive into each of these aspects to better understand how much the 1979 Washington quarter could be worth today. First and foremost, the condition of a coin plays a significant role in determining its value. The better the condition, the higher the value. A quarter that is worn and heavily circulated might not fetch much more than its face value. However, a well-preserved quarter, one that has been carefully stored and shows minimal signs of wear, is a much more desirable piece for collectors. Coins that are graded as mint state or uncirculated typically carry the highest premiums. These are coins that have never been used in circulation and have retained their original luster, sharp details, and flawless features. So, how do you determine the condition of a coin? The condition is typically assessed using a grading scale, with coins being rated from poor to mint state. A mint state coin is considered to be in pristine condition, often showing no visible signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration. For example, if you find a 1979 Washington quarter in mint state, it could be worth far more than a quarter that's been passed around in pocket change for decades. If you have a collection of coins or you're out on the lookout for rare pieces, be sure to inspect the condition of each one carefully. A 1979 Washington quarter in pristine condition is sure to grab the attention of collectors. Another factor that impacts the value of the 1979 Washington quarter is its mint mark. Mint marks are small letters stamped onto the coin that indicate where it was minted. The mint marks on Washington quarters can be found on the obverse side of the coin, just to the right of George Washington's neck. The Philadelphia Mint produced most of the 1979 quarters, and coins from this mint don't have a mint mark. However, the Denver Mint produced another portion of these coins, which are marked with a D. Additionally, the San Francisco Mint also struck quarters for certain years, and these quarters are typically identified by an S mint mark. As we look at the 1979 Washington quarter, it's worth considering which mint produced the coin, as this can sometimes affect its rarity and value. Coins from the San Francisco Mint tend to be rarer, simply because fewer of them were produced in comparison to those minted at the Philadelphia or Denver mints. If you happen to find a 1979 Washington quarter with an S mint mark, especially in uncirculated or high-grade condition, it could be a highly sought-after coin that commands a much higher price. So, always keep an eye out for these mint marks when you're evaluating your coins. Now, let's talk about one of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting: minting errors. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process, resulting in a coin with unique characteristics that make it stand out from the rest. These errors can range from misaligned designs to double strikes, off-center coins, and more. Minting errors are highly prized by collectors because they make a coin one of a kind, and that rarity can translate into significant value. So, what types of minting errors could you find on the 1979 Washington quarter? Well, there are several possibilities. One of the most desirable errors to look for is a double strike. This happens when a coin is struck more than once by the minting press, resulting in a design that's slightly misaligned or overlapped. Double strike coins are incredibly rare, and when found in good condition, they can fetch a substantial premium. If you come across a 1979 Washington quarter with a double strike error, you could be looking at a coin that's worth thousands of dollars. Other potential errors include off-center strikes, which result in a coin with a portion of the design missing or misaligned, and planchet flaws, which occur when the metal blank used to make the coin has imperfections. These errors are rare but can make for a highly valuable coin if you're lucky enough to find one. So, with all this information in mind, what is the 1979 Washington quarter worth today? The value of this coin depends on its condition, mint mark, and any potential minting errors. However, in excellent condition, especially if it's uncirculated or has a minting error, the 1979 Washington quarter can be worth a lot more than its face value. Depending on the factors mentioned earlier, this coin could easily fetch $78,000. Yes, that's right, $78,000 for a single 1979 Washington quarter in the right condition with the right characteristics. Imagine finding one of these rare coins in your spare change or as part of a collection handed down through the generations. It's a thrilling experience to uncover such a treasure, and it's one of the many reasons why coin collecting is so exciting. Whether you're an avid collector or just starting your journey into the world of numismatics, always remember to keep an eye out for those hidden gems that could be worth far more than their face value. Today, we'll take a deep dive into one of the most recent and intriguing coins in American history, the 2010 Washington quarter dollar. Now, at first glance, the 2010 Washington quarter might seem like just another coin from the United States Mint. However, there is so much more to this seemingly common coin than you might expect, especially when you start to examine its historical significance, its unique features, and, of course, its potential value. So, what makes the 2010 Washington quarter dollar stand out among the vast sea of other quarters minted over the years? As you may already know, the Washington quarter has been a staple of U.S. currency since 1932. The coin features an iconic design, George Washington's likeness on the obverse side, with the reverse side showcasing an eagle. Over the years, the Washington quarter has undergone various updates and modifications, but one of the most interesting changes occurred in 1999, with the introduction of the 50-state quarters program. This program ran from 1999 to 2008, with each year showcasing quarters designed to represent one of the 50 states. By 2010, however, the United States Mint had shifted gears. The new designs on the Washington quarters would now represent America's national parks and landmarks in the America the Beautiful series, which began in 2010 and continues to this day. The 2010 Washington quarter is part of this incredible series, and as a result, it carries a unique historical significance. In fact, the 2010 release marked the beginning of this exciting new phase in the Washington quarter's legacy. The 2010 Washington quarter was issued in honor of the Hot Springs National Park in Arkansas. This marked the first coin in the America the Beautiful series, which would eventually feature other iconic American landmarks like the Grand Canyon, Yellowstone National Park, and more. The reverse design of the 2010 quarter features an image of a beautiful landscape that pays tribute to the beauty and natural splendor of Hot Springs National Park, complete with a depiction of the park's famous hot springs, forested landscape, and the historic bathhouse. The 2010 Washington quarter is a symbol of America's rich natural heritage, and its design is an artistic representation of one of the oldest national parks in the United States. For collectors and numismatists, this makes the 2010 quarter a unique and highly collectible coin that will likely be remembered as part of a landmark series in U.S. coinage history. But as with all coins, there's so much more to discover, especially when you dive into the value of the 2010 Washington quarter. Before we talk about its potential worth, it's important to understand the factors that determine the value of a coin like the 2010 Washington quarter dollar. When evaluating the worth of a coin, collectors and investors typically focus on a few key elements: the coin's condition, rarity, mint mark, and whether or not there are any minting errors. These elements can make a huge difference in how much a coin is worth on the open market. Let's start with condition, which is one of the most important factors when it comes to valuing any coin. The condition of a coin is assessed using a grading scale that ranges from poor to mint state or uncirculated. The better the condition, the higher the value. A quarter that's been heavily circulated with significant signs of wear and tear is not going to be worth much more than its face value. However, if you're fortunate enough to find a 2010 Washington quarter in mint state, meaning it has no noticeable wear and has been carefully preserved, you could see its value increase significantly. For collectors looking to add to their collection, the 2010 Washington quarter in excellent condition is an attractive option. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. For example, a 2010 quarter in mint state might be worth a bit more than one that has circulated, but when you're dealing with a coin that has minimal wear, like one that has been stored in a safe place since its original release, the potential value can increase. Now let's talk about rarity. When it comes to rare coins, the value skyrockets. While the 2010 Washington quarter is a relatively modern coin and many of these quarters were produced in large quantities, the key to unlocking its true value lies in the scarcity of certain versions of the coin. For instance, if you come across a 2010 quarter with a particular mint mark or a specific design variation, you could be holding on to something much rarer than the typical quarter. The 2010 Washington quarter was minted in 3 different facilities: the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. Coins produced at the Philadelphia Mint generally have no mint mark, while coins from the Denver Mint are marked with a D, and those from the San Francisco Mint feature an S. The rarity of a particular mint mark can influence its value, as some mints produce fewer coins than others, making certain mint marks more sought after by collectors. If you happen to find a 2010 Washington quarter from a mint that produced fewer coins, it could become a hot commodity in the collecting world. The scarcity of certain mint marks can make a coin much more valuable than the others, especially if that coin is in pristine condition. Another factor to consider when determining the value of a 2010 Washington quarter is the possibility of minting errors. Minting errors are a huge attraction for collectors, as they create unique and rare variations of coins that cannot be found in normal production. These errors can include things like double strikes, off-center coins, die cracks, or planchet errors. A 2010 quarter with a minting error, especially one that is well defined, could be worth significantly more than a coin with no errors. For example, a double-struck 2010 Washington quarter or one with a dramatic off-center strike would be an incredibly rare find and would likely command a premium price on the market. So, what is the 2010 Washington quarter worth today? The value of the 2010 Washington quarter can vary depending on its condition, mint mark, and any possible minting errors. However, in excellent condition, especially if it's a rare mint mark or has a minting error, this coin could be worth $70,000. Yes, that's right, $70,000 for a single 2010 Washington quarter in the right condition or with the right characteristics. Imagine stumbling upon one of these rare quarters in a collection or while searching through your change. Finding such a treasure would undoubtedly be an exciting moment for any collector or numismatist. With the growing interest in the America the Beautiful series and the increasing rarity of high-quality coins, the 2010 Washington quarter has become a sought-after piece for those looking to expand their collections and potentially make a profitable investment. Whether you're an avid collector or simply curious about the potential value of your coins, the 2010 Washington quarter is a prime example of why coin collecting is such an exciting hobby. It's not just about the coins themselves, but the stories they tell, the history they represent, and the thrill of uncovering hidden gems. If you're out there searching for coins, keep an eye out for this remarkable piece of American history. You never know when you might come across a coin that could be worth far more than its face value. Today's video, we're diving deep into the United States of America Washington quarter dollar from 1787. That's right, this coin has a truly fascinating story to tell. Many of you might be surprised to hear about a Washington quarter from the late 18th century, as the Washington quarter itself wasn't even introduced until 1932. But bear with me, because the history and value behind this particular coin are unlike anything you've probably ever heard before. The United States Mint officially began producing coins in 1792, but the coin we're discussing today is a bit of a mystery, a Washington quarter from 1787. This date raises eyebrows because it predates the founding of the United States Mint itself. So, how could such a coin exist? Is it a rare minting error, or is it simply a case of misinterpretation? Before we get into the specifics of this coin, let's step back a little and take a closer look at the broader context of coinage in the late 1700s. The Washington quarter itself was minted in honor of George Washington, the first president of the United States, and the design, which we now recognize as the standard Washington quarter, didn't appear until the early 20th century. However, in 1787, the U.S. was still a young and fledgling country, struggling to establish its identity in a post-revolutionary world. But the fascinating part of this story involves the intricate history of the coins minted before and around the time of Washington's presidency. In the years following the American Revolution, the U.S. was using various forms of currency, but there was still no official, government-backed mint to produce coins. Coins from this era were often imported from foreign countries or produced through private mints, many of which were used in daily commerce. However, during this time, the country began to experiment with its own coin designs and minting processes, with early efforts like the 1787 Fugio cent, which was the first official coin issued by the United States. This coin, however, has nothing to do with the Washington quarter, but it marks the beginning of coinage in the early days of the Republic. Now, let's turn our attention back to the 1787 Washington quarter, a true rarity that leaves collectors and historians scratching their heads. The existence of this coin has been a subject of much debate. It's widely considered an anomaly, as the Washington quarter wasn't actually minted until 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. So how could a 1787 Washington quarter exist? Many believe that the coin in question is likely a rare and expertly crafted replica or perhaps a misattribution of a coin from an earlier time. Some suggest that this coin could be a commemorative piece produced by a private mint or coin artist in the early 20th century, perhaps as a tribute to the founding father, George Washington, and the long journey the United States had made by the time it reached the 20th century. Others believe that this coin could be part of a collection of unique historical artifacts that were struck as an experimental piece by early American minting enthusiasts, not officially sanctioned by the U.S. government but instead created by collectors who saw the value of capturing moments in time with silver and copper. Whatever the case may be, the Washington quarter from 1787, whether real or a misinterpretation, remains one of the most mysterious and coveted coins in the world. The allure of such a coin lies in its historical significance and the mystery that surrounds its existence. Just imagine the kind of history it represents, a time when the country was on the brink of defining itself and when the very idea of coinage was still in its infancy. As collectors and numismatists, we often find ourselves drawn to these coins for their potential value, their beauty, and their stories. In the case of the 1787 Washington quarter, the coin is considered an outlier in the world of coinage, a piece that could easily be the centerpiece of any numismatic collection. And this brings us to the value of this particular coin. Determining the value of a coin is an art as much as it is a science. When it comes to coins as rare and mysterious as the 1787 Washington quarter, the value can fluctuate greatly depending on several factors: condition, provenance, rarity, and historical significance. Coins from early American history, especially those with unusual dates or unique characteristics, can often command high prices at auction. In the case of the 1787 Washington quarter, a coin in mint state with excellent preservation could fetch a substantial price, especially if it has been certified by a reputable grading service. A coin with a well-documented history, especially if it has been authenticated as one of the few 1787 Washington quarters in existence, could easily become a highly sought-after piece among collectors. The scarcity of such a coin further increases its potential value, as rarity is one of the driving factors behind the demand for historical coins. Although not all 1787 Washington quarters are created equal, those that are in excellent condition, free from major flaws or damage, could be worth much more than their face value. A well-preserved 1787 Washington quarter is a unique find, and the right buyer may be willing to pay a premium for such an exceptional piece. Based on the rarity and the mysterious history surrounding this coin, a well-maintained 1787 Washington quarter dollar could be worth $74,000. Yes, that's right, $74,000 for a single coin. This value is reflective of the coin's potential as a unique artifact in the world of numismatics, its historical intrigue, and the ongoing fascination with American coinage. The 1787 Washington quarter is more than just a coin. It's a window into the past, a rare glimpse into a time when the United States was still forging its identity, and a key to understanding the evolution of American currency. If you ever come across a Washington quarter from 1787, take a moment to appreciate the rarity and significance of such a find. Whether it's an actual historical piece or an expertly crafted replica, its story is one of mystery, history, and the ongoing legacy of the United States Mint. With its unique features, historical relevance, and the captivating story behind its existence, the 1787 Washington quarter is a true gem in the world of coin collecting. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey into the world of rare coins and their hidden value. If you enjoyed this video and would love to discover more fascinating coins and their worth, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you won't miss any of our future content. Until next time, happy collecting!